Welcome in everybody to the ramp at Zurich Airport. Today we're going in the 738 to Belgrade in Serbia. We're going to be going in the level up version 2. Taking on this short hop over a space of about 1 hour and 30 minutes in the air and block time of about 2 hours, which is normal for a commercial Friday flight. Welcome in. We have GPU. It's really warm by the way out here. Very nice hot day in Zurich, so it's probably going to be hotter down in Belgrade. But yeah, out here on the ramp with the plane sort of ready for me to get in and start things, and we've got the air conditioning unit set up, so the ASU supplying the air through these chunky pipes. Really good modelling work here by Level Up, and just a really good external unit in general. Then we've got the GPU, of course, supplying the aircraft there with electricity. So let's hop in. The aircraft looks really stunning on today when it's like super hot, super clear. That's why we've got the ASU, because it is in fact super warm inside, as you can imagine. Not all planes have that, in fact many of them don't bother with them. So let's get in. We don't need to bother about the chocks and cones, that's not our jobs. We need to get on with the flight plan stuff. So we go back into our charts. Let's just review what we've got going on and make sure we've got the right charts and stuff. So FMS plans to Belgrade Airport. LYBE is Belgrade, so this is it. So correct date and time, and we got to get our fuel on board. So we have a total block fuel today of, let's try and do this different. So 7326. Let's call the fuel truck first. 7326 on the fuel. Can't do it the way I wanted to, unfortunately. Oh well. Packs on board. I suspect it's going to be, oh no, not too busy this route. I thought it would be. Usually it is kind of a busy route. Payload is 12.9. Baggage cargo is 3 tons, so that's 3,000 kilograms. Activate that. There is another way to enter this in, and for some reason they connect in the jetway when we've got stairs down already. I guess that makes sense. But yeah, sometimes when you're on here, I think it's on payload where you can adjust it yourself. So I guess you could put your fuel and stuff and weights in here individually. We are in an 189 passenger layout, and we've only got 125 on board. So there's a lot of empty seats today, and it's quite a big airplane this. You know, a 738, 189 people, that's not anything to flash your eyes at. Anyway, we're brand new into the aircraft today, so we have to do some pre-flight inspection tests. So we're going to go ahead and check. First of all, get the ground power on. Says it's already on. So the panel lights off. Yeah, I could do a bit of testing, and of course the battery. Gear lever wasn't down. We'll test some of these lights and things overhead. Flight recorder test is passed. You could do the IRS now while we're up here as well. Loud is that ASU unit. Once we do the system recall while we wait. Okay, they're going to be aligning. So that's those tests out of the way. Then down here we've got these lights. And now if we had a co-pilot, they would also do them over on their side. And we're just checking the enunciators, because obviously if there's a problem we need them to illuminate, and if they're not illuminating we don't know if there's a problem. It's good so far, everything is lighting up as expected. And of course down here with the APU. Good, wheel well illuminates too. We have a full fire extinguisher pack. Cargo is good as well. And then we're squawking, we should squawk 7,000 on the ground. Let's just turn some of these lights up down here. 7,000 till we're assigned our squawk code. And we'll check the arrivals and departure procedures. And we need to check for ATC as well. I don't think we're going to have any, but we can just, you know, fly without it on the 1228, which we're already tuned into. Okay, back to the route. So have a tablet charts. Let's check our actual departures. We have some SID procedures on runway 16 today. So Deggers, I think we did the Deggers last time, the Deggers 3 Sierra departure. So we're kind of familiar with this route from Zurich. It's the Belgrade one I've not flown into a while for the Rigmu to Delta arrival there for runway 30 left. And Belgrade is a massive airport. 19 degrees outside. Right, what else do we need to do? Let's get a fuel pump on there. Let's turn the emergency lights onto armed. Window heats. Probably don't need these on anyway till departures, because it is obviously a hot day. And that impacts a lot of things, performance-wise. Or just everything in general. Your Dabra could probably come on. Forgot about that last time, we don't want to forget that. Okay, down here for the arrivals. Try and get a good view here. Deggers from the airport, so the entire router. And flight number today is 789. Ryanair 789, that is. So departures. And Deggers seems like pretty much the only departure they have here for the free Sierra is the one we need. There's only one runway option coming up, which is quite handy. It has given us 16, hasn't it, on sim brief? Yes, it has. And also, you guys might want to check this map as well. So you can see there, I think people are taxiing to 16. Yeah, I remember. So he departed from Zurich last week, and some guy had to do like he had to come back to the airport, but somebody took off from 28. I think that's why. I'm not saying that taking off from the wrong runway causes problems, but it might do. So yeah, runway 16. And of course, if we have any issues, we'll come back to runway 16 and keep it simple, I guess. Okay, legs. Have we got any intermediaries? We do have a Tunham, Gedso, Podet. Or Podet. You see that from the Deggers? So we could bring up the charts now and look at the Deggers departure, but I'm not going to do that until we get ready to go. Thank God I've got a new mouse. I'm glad I bought one, guys. I highly recommend, if you've not already got one, to get a wireless mouse. You have so much more freedom with it. I say that, but you still have the old clicking issue on the FMC because it's so slow. So there's Gedso and then Podet. And that'll be towards the Rigmu to Delta arrival, runway 30 left. Okay, so arrivals, pre-arrival plan, as usual. Then we just let ATC guide us when we get closer. There's an RNAV approach, that might be cool today. Okay, back to legs. So we have one minor break there from the transition, most likely. Right, what's our cruise? We have a cruise. Let's get the seatbelt signs on actually for the packs. They should be boarding. Yeah, they'll be coming on board. So, cost index 69, 37,000. There is a slight step climb there from 350. We had the same issue last time, so it seems like if you are flying out of Zurich, you will have those step climbs. For that reason, guys, we go straight to 370. There's also no ATC, which makes things a little bit easier for us. We kind of got to go down to performance initialization and put our weight and things for fuel. So we need trip fuel 3.8. I'm going to round it down on this occasion. Refuel, why are we not refueling? We're not cold then, that's why. Good thing I noticed that, otherwise we would have been a bit screwed, wouldn't we? The cost index 69. The reserves will be the differential between 3.8 and 7, so about 3.2. It's nice and easy to figure out. So air temperature is 19. I'm assuming that's accurate. Again, we can check on here. Cool. Yeah, it's 16. Excuse me, where's the temperature on here? So we have a 1020 on the Q&H. I'll set that now. She gives that call out very early because people are only just getting on board. Nice and busy though, Zurich. People coming and going all over. Excellent. And we are going to be doing the same taxi route as well. So from taxiway inner, I think we're in the exact same space. No, we're in number 3 today. So inner to Echo again. Okay, IRS is initialized, thank goodness. Right, that's performance. Cruise winds. Good ATC comms from pilots. Love it. Absolutely love it. I don't know why I'm reading through all the notes and stuff. I've already chat them. There's nothing of consideration in there that we need to be aware of.
And climbing 390.
Am I missing the cruise winds page here? Have I already gone past it? And why does it keep scrolling down to the bottom when I'm... There it is. The Tubber climb 37,031. This is over here, so over 012. And that'll be at minus 61. Oh, I see. Topper climb, so minus 61. Well, that was just the outside for takeoff, but of course there's a separate page for that when we get to it. We'd probably be doing, and again, there might be noise abatement procedures, so we could go max takeoff rate and then we'll go to climb 1, for example. But today we're not going to do that. And then we'll do 5 degrees of flaps. We can't work out the central gravity yet because people are still getting on board. That means we've got a little bit more time now to just prep the aircraft in certain areas so we can set the minimums. Fantastic. Let's set the minimums on here. Of course it's the barometric. Yeah, 1400 feet, and thank you to those who joined the ECS2 trip last night, all the way down from Manchester to Skopje and then on to Rana. It was a fantastic trip, it really was, and I was right about the altitude, so as you get further down here, it's just naturally higher up, so they must have strong lungs in Zurich. Let's go ahead and squawk a random code. I think it's very, very hard to see it because the sun's on it. 7331 I think is the squawk. We need our nav lights on, don't we? Probably could have done with those on before. So forward entry's open. I think there's also pre-flight checks almost done. The backup AI there just needs straightening out too. Welcome in, Black Knight. Oh no, excuse me. Welcome in, Ben's Dream. Nice to see you. Meet you. Let me just read your chat thing. But all the lights checking etc. sometimes break pre or mid flight. Yes, yes they do. So that's why we check those illuminations, because they can in fact break. And on the flight sim, they're set to 10,000 hours, I think it is. So failures are set to 10,000 hours, and you know things will fail in the meantime. I've had, in terms of indications failing, I've had airspeed indications failing on the co-pilot side and on the pilot side. I've had altitude things fail. I've had gear warning system. The gear illumination system here failed, so it wasn't changing its colour from red to green. It was just staying on red even though the gear was down. So yeah, they do fail on the sim. It's quite realistic, and you can change that. You can set them to fail sooner or later. Right, we're still not refueling. What is going on with the ground services? Call the fuel truck. Fuel truck still isn't coming. Is it because we got the ASU connected? Get the packs on because we have got the ASU on, so we might as well. But yeah, the fuel should be coming. We did collect ready, didn't we? Yeah. So I put 726. Damn it. Thank God we can cancel that and re-enter it. 7328. Right, Jetway's now somehow moving away. I hope it hasn't reset the passengers as well. It has. That's very odd. So it's loading them, and then when we cancel and restart it, it reloads them. I guess we're all learning something as we go along as well. Not the worst thing. So some guy there taking off as well. The A's.
717 Tango, passing 1,900 feet, climbing flight level 380.
Amazing. It's getting hotter as well. Packs are on, keeping us cool, thankfully. Yeah, we burned a bit of time there, unfortunately, but we'll have to wait now, I guess. We'll go stick it to fast load mode if you wanted. Cleaning, catering, loading. Well, yeah, beautiful, beautiful plane. Flying in Ryanair. What is going on with the camera there? Flying with Ryanair today. It's a very, very realistic aircraft, the level up one. It's a study level plane. If you're a real world pilot on an airliner, maybe Ryanair, maybe TUI, on the 738, this is the aircraft you need to fly. If you're also into simulations, this is as realistic as the commercial operations get. There are others available, but those are payware. If you want to feel like a real pilot and you want to get it perfect, you have to on this, because obviously it's a realistic model and it's a realistic simulation, so if you do anything wrong it will be echoed in the game, so you'll be able to experience your own problems, if that makes sense. Let's do this. Let's get the flight directors on. We have entered our route in. Let's enter the altitude straight up to 37,000 feet. And we'll get the charts open for the departures. Actually, we'll do that while we wait and look through the briefing. So refueling catering. I'm just kind of waiting for the packs to come on board before we clear that off. Set 16 here for the runway. Set the course as well. And we'll wait for the speed. I think that might be refueling done at last. Sweet last, I might say. I suppose this is just the typical life of a pilot. I guess that's a real mistake, but in real life you wouldn't restart from scratch. You'd just get the amended amount put in, wouldn't you? Because obviously no flight's going to take less than 1,000 kg on board with them. Still no packs coming on board. I wonder why. I wonder what's going on with the pack boarding thing. It's just not fast today. Trying the light, like sound things on and off. I suppose it's the refueling, isn't it? But I think they should be able to load on at the same time as refueling. Okay, Avitab Airport. Let's see. And you have indeed got 1020 QNH and departure runway 16. So Deggers is the popular one today, and it's the main one from runway 16. Deggers is an RNAV as well, so that is not our departure, but it looks like it. It is in fact the top chart. So Deggers for hotel for November. Deggers 3 whiskey. And it's not that one either, so all the way down. Or maybe it is. Maybe it is. Deggers 3 Sierra.
Selector 6, this 166 Mike, closing on into it, Juliet.
This looks right for our departure, even though it's not the right one. SID suspended. Uses Deggers 3 Sierra. Good. Thing ours isn't suspended, isn't it? Otherwise it'd be a bit screwed over. That must be the departure then. It just doesn't say 3 Sierra on it, because there's no other charts there available for runway 16.
Sir, traffic KLM 59 echoes, about 12 mile final, runway 14, search.
Roger. No, I didn't communicate with him, everybody, just to let you know. So anyway, we could just use the FMC guidance. So we have here some useful charts.
Sir, traffic, streets 114, final 14.
We want the ground movement charts, which is what we used last time. So it looks like it will be one of these. There we go. So we taxi in from 03 to inner, and then we take in. So this is standard A. So standard A 43 back to inner towards Foxtrot. This is where that hump in the taxiway was. Now it's all flooding back to me. There was a bump in the taxiway that was like a pavement, and it was absolutely dreadful. So it was right there from the inner to the echo transition. If you are going to be guided that way, I recommend requesting Foxtrot. So what we'll do is we'll go inner to Foxtrot, then we'll transition to the taxiway echo, and we'll take echo up to holding point, probably echo 1 runway 16. That's the taxi briefing complete. So let's get the APU started.
Traffic, KLM 59 echo 8 mile final, search.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about the illuminations failing though. Even if they failed, you can still fly the plane. It depends what it is. If it's the landing gear illumination, obviously that's a bit more important. But in general, even that's not a problem, because you still have a manual extension door down here. So if the gear doesn't come down, or if you think it's not come down, and you suspect there's a failure of the lights, you could go over here and extend it manually yourself. They haven't actually painted that yet, which is odd. I think Level Up should paint it. They probably will at some point. So yeah, taxiway route is planned out. I can't remember where the chart was that we used last time. Maybe it was that chart. Anyway, it will be a holding point echo 1. APU's coming alive.
KLM 59 echo, short final 14, search.
What are we doing here? Charts up, don't we? What am I doing? Blimey. I was going to say control lights. Oh, okay, right, that's it. Pax. 59. They're not getting on too slowly today. Fuel is on board. We can cross-check that here. APU's online. Let's switch to that. And what we'll do is we'll disconnect ground power services.
Your driver excludes from Alpha, vacated 1-4.
And the A issue as well. So that way we can switch over from the A issue to the APU blue there. Keep ourselves nice and cool that way. One of the things we haven't tried, and I said we could do it but I haven't showed you, is the window. We can actually open the window on this model. And this is why it's a great model. Not that I would open one in a 737, because I don't think commercial pilots nowadays open these windows at all at any phase of flight, even when they're on the ground. And I think the reason is, A, they don't want to risk not being able to close it again, and B, I don't know if they're actually allowed to. I think airlines might have their own policies for it, so they might say you're not actually allowed to open it. I just don't see them opening it at all, even when they're on the ground at the stands. And then closing it, as you can see, even I'm struggling to understand how to do it, so you do actually have to get the click spot and figure it out that way. Sometimes that's not that useful. Yeah, it's just the detail that is on another level. The pens, you know, the writing is high fidelity. Press trigger and pull to open window. And there'll be a trigger there to reset it.
59 Echo, clear of 1-4, search.
And there's the button there to hide the tablet. I never even noticed that before. That's cool. Now I generally can't close the window. Wonder what's going on. Let's get rid of the... Uh-oh, so this is why I suspect pilots aren't allowed to open it. They can't close it again. That's very, very odd. Maybe that thing? Uh-oh, chat, we got an issue. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're actually having some issues with closing the window at the moment. Looks like we're going to be delayed a little bit longer. Let's check, is there an option on the Avi tab down here? That'd be cool, wouldn't it? So perhaps on ground services, we can go and retract those air stairs now. We never needed them. No, I can't see anything there for Windows, unfortunately. How embarrassing. How embarrassing. It's your first day on an airline, and your first day as a captain of the 738, and that's what happens. So packs are on board. Come on, window. Alright, we got a bit of a mayday situation here. It's generally not closing. So the click spot isn't even illuminated.
Strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
That's a very peculiar click spot. Thank you, the attendant on board of First Attendant Lady. We are ready to perform the rest of the initialization at last after that brief hiccup. Fun hiccup though, fun times. Insufficient fuel. It always says that when we have enough. So all the data is entered in. The M1 limit selected. We're going to go for a max takeoff, and then we're going to go to D rate to climb 1. Outside is in fact 20 degrees. 5 degrees of flat. Central gravity, so 5.25 in the trim. And then 143 for V2. And I've still not got better pushback installed yet. I'll have to get it reinstalled. Okay, so V2, 153. Let's crank some lights on in here, folks. It is slightly dark today.
Search traffic, Kilo 59 Echo crossing 24 at Kilo, search.
Okay.
Search runway 28, search.
Beacon coming on.
90 on Cali 3, Golf arrival, passing Gilbert right now and turning right.
So we have to do it from this in order to get the pushback.
Alpha 03 QNH 1020. Request start up.
Bravo 738.
Information golf current. Startup approved.
So it's like a combination of AI and real ATC at the moment. So now we request pushback. We're going to check outside to cheat. The jetway's glitching out, so it looks like we'll be pushing back to the left there. And we can cross-check that down here on the chart, so sort of this direction.
Zurich ground. 738. Request pushback to the right.
738. Stand by. Pushback tractor is on the way.
Let's give the call over Unicom. Zurich traffic Ryanair 789, stand 03, pushing back taxiway inner. Maybe I should say we're at Dock A, stand 3, that might be a bit more clear. This is optimised to be used with Aerosoft, which is quite handy, I guess. That's why we'll have to use this one. Probably better off using that one actually. We know where we're going then. We're going down to Foxtrot, then Echo, then Echo 1. Wait for the taxi to get here. Say taxi as if it's going to do the flight for us, but of course it isn't. And then here we have some entering data, but if we enter the data here, one thing that will happen is you won't be able to get your V speeds. I don't know if that's a bug or if that's something else. Either way I skip it. So auto throttle I do like to arm it, but occasionally I'll leave it to take off because it just feels a bit safer. Let's get the flight control things armed. We don't need to do anything yet on window or pitot heats because it's nice and clear outside. There's the tower, and I think that's us parked over there, isn't it? That Ryanair, just behind the window. Can't quite move the camera. We let it watching a film inside, and we can see all the traffic out here as well, which is cool. A lot of hangars up there with planes in them. I wonder why Laminar got rid of the 747. I have wondered that. You know, are they going to bring it back for future updates? KLM down there taxiing. It's clear of runway 16. That'll be our departure runway there, folks. So this is. In fact, you can even see here where the taxiway has that step. So a good thing we checked out the tower. So we're going down Echo, which is here. Excuse me, Foxtrot, which is here. You know, there. Inner to Foxtrot. You know what I'm talking about. If you see what I'm pointing at. There's that bump in the pavement. It seems like a really big issue at airports in X-Plane 12. Right, pushback is here. Brilliant. We'll go over to the pushback frequencies.
Commencing pushback. Release parking brake.
Parking brake release. Everything from ground should now be removed. So chocks removed. And we'll go for a left engine first. Good, it comes alive pretty quick. The NT's spinning up. This is what we need. Be concerned if it didn't start immediately. Introduce the fuel there slightly early.
Light slow.
Didn't check the GPWS. Something else if I keep forgetting.
Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Enough. Sink rate. Sink rate. Terrain.
Let's get our transponder to
Pull up.
test
Don't
mode
sink.
as well in a sec.
Don't sink. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Gear. Too low. Flaps. Too low. Terrain. Light slow.
Okay, engine's coming alive. Let's go for number 2.
Approaching minimums. Minimum 2,500.
We're getting a warning there. Hang on.
500.
Engine's shutting down again.
400.
Oh, we got APU bleed air on.
200.
We have.
100.
Let's go for a number 2 engine first then.
40. 30.
That
20.
engine's shutting down. It's been a
10.
failed start.
Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Too low.
Sometimes that will happen if you start the engines too quickly. So if you start one and then start the other two soon after the other,
Terrain ahead.
you'll have a failure
Pull up.
or a shutdown.
Obstacle. 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 Pull up.
So there it is, it's rising, and then it says electric. which is already switched on, so we shouldn't have any issues there. It's in drive there, which is normal. APU generator's giving us power. If there are failures, what does that do? I don't know what I just pushed. We're still going. Why are we still going? Why are we still going, ground crew? Jesus. Talk about broken ground equipment services.
Disconnect. Push back from
It's not even connected to us. Anyway, we push back.
Have a good flight.
Let's go ahead and get that engine on. I think it has started on number 2. Number 2 engines coming alive nice and well. It's the fan that's not spinning very much. I mean, look, it's only just getting up to 5%. Okay, brilliant. I think that's just about done it. Keep the ignition on continuous. Packs can come on. Over to engine generators. APU off. Taxi lights on. We have got navs and beacons on. Okay, I think we are ready to go. Let's do a flight control check. It's a little bit responsive. Ailerons in the elevators. Rudder control. Give it a little bit of a move out to get it clicking into gear. We're going to have to ignore this AI traffic here. I really hope we don't crash. That Swiss plane there was in fact blocking our taxiway because we were pushing back onto inner. I did give the call out there, pushing back from A3 to inner. So why would he taxi down? I don't know, guys. Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild taxiing. We'll go towards him. We'll get back on track. Zero traffic, Rhino 789, taxiing runway 16 via Foxtrot Echo, holding point Echo 1. Lovely, Ryanair is on a sweet way after that sort of failed pushback there. A little bit embarrassed for Explain 12 team at this point. As time goes on and as I see the sort of amazing advancements in flight simulation on Microsoft and the amazing advancements of those developers, you know, we've just had a new Coronado aircraft release for Microsoft, and X-Plane 12 is just stuck in the Stone Ages. It really is.
TCAS test. Pass.
TCAS is passed. Let's get that on to Charlie. $40 minutes to get to taxi, and geez, I think we could have skimmed 10 minutes off there minus the pack problems.
Zurich traffic 0980, vacated 14.
Fantastic.
Zurich traffic Swiss 219, 10 miles, final regulars 14.
You know what, let's just take Foxtrot down here and cross the runway. We don't need any strobes on here. It's not an active runway, although we probably would have to put them on as sort of a legal requirement. And charts in real life as well do in fact have this airplane picture. I had to find that out the hard way. I was under the impression that real pilots wouldn't have that convenience, but in fact they do. So there's software out there that will tell them their own aircraft location on the map, which is of course a lot better than guessing. So here we are, we're going to transition to Echo. We're going to go for the full length. Very responsive. We are a little bit lighter today, only 125. Spoilers are pretty functional.
Service traffic is Sweet 980, 1 kilo, crossing runway 28.
Yeah, we can see him down there. I think we accidentally blocked him on the taxiway, didn't we? GA parking is quite big here as well. I never noticed that. So you got the whole GA stands there, GA 1 to 4. I hope we got a few people flying to Belgrade as well. See a plane in the distance. He has got his landing lights on. I wonder if he's coming down to Zurich airport. Looks like he is. I can hear static as if somebody's making a radio call. Looks like he's going for the runway 14. That's going to be cool, isn't it? So he's going to land just as we get to him.
City traffic, Port Express 104 taxi, you want to avoid Echo 1 and runway 16 via Viking Echo.
Yeah, we should keep an eye on ATC actually. It might pop online. There he is, another Swiss. In an A320. And he's about to touch down. Really good view here of the landing spot. In fact, this gap here between the two runways is pretty nice. It's almost like a garden, just a pure green space. Let's get our web radars on.
Traffic runway 14 is vacated.
16 established. We're going to be holding short here and do some pre-flight, pre-takeoff chat lists, before takeoff chat lists. Okay, there we go. So radars are working. So ignition's on. Landing lights, takes lights off. Wing lights. Attend button. Pisos and window heats. Packs are on, flaps are set, so flaps have deployed symmetrically, now we can put them back up to 5. Strobe lights as well. Responded to altitude mode. Zurich traffic Ryanair 789 departing runway 16, Deggers 3 Sierra departure. There we are, Deggers 3 Sierra departure, here we come. Would have brought those charts up at the same time. Sure, it'll be fine. We know the route. Because we're lighted today, I want to make sure we keep that nose down on runway, so let's move our throttles forward. 40%. Once the throttle is armed, sometimes I have issues with the toga. Press toga and it will disconnect if you don't move your throttles quick enough, so let's do it. So let's toga it. Seems to have done it pretty well. Airspeed alive, cross check. 80 knots.
V1, rotate.
She's lifting off pretty well today. Gear coming up. Good climb out there from the 738. Nice and strong. You have got a tailwind today. Probably would have been better off taking. Got a traffic alert. Probably on the ground, I suspect.
1,000.
Flaps up to 1, please. We used 10 degrees of flaps there, that's probably why we lifted off so well. Oh well, I think sometimes those kind of mistakes are not the worst. So there's the D rate now to climb 1. We can accelerate to 210 knots on our departure turn. Looking at this stunning scenery as SimHeaven scenery in use once again. And go for the full bank. 25 to 30 degree bank angle there. Flaps up. There's 210, that'll be the speed limit for the departure. We'll maintain that through pitch. So as you can see there, about 10 degrees is giving us the right amount. Ignition can come back to automatic. Pressurization should be set on the ground, so that's something we forgot. 37,000 feet. Dog on board. Blimey. Let's transition altitude. Standard pressure set across all instruments. So mine, co-pilots and backup. You can see him hand flying this. It's quite a lot of fun to hand fly these departures. Say it before, if you don't do it already, you should do. The same with the arrivals. Landing lights off. I suspect we'll have warm weather quite high up as well, probably up to 20,000 feet. We'll still have plus a few degrees. And seatbelt signs can come off. I think we're in the safe zone now. So you're free to move about the cabin, although I recommend, if you are sat down, to keep your seatbelts on. And autopilot. There we go. So we should be climbing up to, I didn't change it again, to flight level 370. I think the computer can figure that out. At least it didn't pitch down today. And no, we didn't give the call out for the climb. There's probably no need to. Not today anyway, guys. Not when we're focused on getting things right. And we still missed a few things like pressurization. Rather than use anti-ice, I'm going to put these packs onto high, because we have got quite a good pressure coming through the system. Okay, we got traffic online now for AC online for different places in Germany. We're not near Germany, so we check on the map down here. I'm going to use this tablet for it. I think there is a map. Yeah, so here we are. Just departed from Zurich, of course, like the most borderly point of Switzerland. We're now going to be flying over the mountains to Serbia. We have a few countries to pass through. We have Slovenia, we have Croatia, and then it'll probably be from Croatia down to Belgrade. So yeah, pretty much the same route. We almost drove this last night. We did drive it through here. So if you join me for the ETS2, we were driving through Zagreb and we drove through Belgrade. Not quite through Belgrade, but through the Belgrade region. We passed through Pristina, Niš. We recognise all these places. We went to Skopje and then we went over to Tirana, which was an absolutely beautiful city. And tonight I might drive back up to Podgorica because that was good as well. So this little region down here really is stunning. Alright guys, sit back, relax, enjoy the flight. Another turboprop there, possibly a King Air. I say that, it probably isn't. It's probably a Q4 or something. Oh, there it is. Forgot where the toilet was on this thing. Vacant. Yeah, the detail on this is improved as well. I do like this. The signs look a lot clearer. There is no way to get in it, but you know it is there. We've got TVs on this plane or not? Yes, we do, but they're not switched on. I don't understand that. I think cab utilities are switched on, so we should be able to, you know, get TV functionality. See there, so cabin utilities and IFE passenger seat. Let's turn those off and then back on and see if that helps. That would usually supply, and they're usually on position, but they'd supply like power to the cabin, the AC powers. No, still nothing coming on. I'd love to be able to, maybe Level Up could consider this, but add in the ability to interact with this over here. You know, being able to see there, you got pilot, attendant, and then PA. But yeah, the ability to interact with lights and maybe some switches on the TVs, maybe opening a few drawers. Who knows, in the future they might actually do that. Might as well call for coffees at the moment. Co-pilot's not got one. I'm the only one with a drink. Wonder why he's not got a coffee there or a cup. Yeah, the future of aviation simulation is looking alright on Microsoft, but X-Plane's not looking great. We still haven't got a real shared cockpit functionality feature yet, which is wild because it used to be a standard feature in games like Flight Simulator X. You could go online and share a cockpit with somebody and fly a plane. Granted, I used to get people coming in my cockpit and they would crash the plane deliberately, but that was all still pretty fun to do. We're only expecting there's 2 runways here, so we're expecting left, 30 left. So this is our arrival runway. Simple approach lighting system. Now we could check if it's like ILS category 1, 2 or 3 approved, but today it's not going to be applicable. So category 2 and 3 precision lighting for runway 1, 2, but the other way round is not approved for that, which is again interesting. So this is only category 1 approved. If you want the severe weather condition one, you have to go from the other direction. Anyway, we'll be coming down now, 30 left. We'll probably take the other way down if we can do to Delta 4, although that St. Nature's one has a collision thing going on. Maybe we won't get off. Maybe we'll get off at row 3 and then we'll come down, excuse me, Delta 5, and then we'll come down to Alpha. Familiar with airports, the GA's down here. We have got maintenance, JAT, Technica, maintenance, Technica, and then catering, and then we have, you know, other things here like fuel depots. We need the terminal, so it probably will be Alpha down to Golf or Foxtrot. We'll find the nearest space. Arrival for runway 30 left. It's a good thing there's only 2 charts. We can have the RNAV approach, or we can have a sort of complicated standard approach, whatever that means. A lot of arrivals here into Belgrade. Of course, it's been situated in the Balkan region, right in the centre. So you got people coming from left, right and centre, all the way from every sort of country you can think of. Different altitudes and other restrictions. Our arrival though is Rigmu 2 Delta. So if we can find the Rigmu 2 Delta, there's the Rigmu 4 Lima, which tells me that it probably will be it might be a VNAV approach we're doing, a VNAV arrival. Let's go back, and if it is a VNAV arrival, excuse me, an RNAV arrival, not a VNAV, an RNAV arrival, then we'll be doing the RNAV approach. There's Rigmu 3 Charlie. Well, we know which direction we're flying from. We're flying from the north, so it'll be down this one. They have got the 3 Delta. Now that's probably the arrival we're doing. But because it's outdated information, or we not got the correct information, updated information, then it'll be that one. Yeah, so 3 Delta is probably the 3 Delta then, isn't it? So 3 Delta down here. And then it's sort of like a circuit pattern, I guess. We got like a sort of base leg and then final. Transition altitudes are there. Looks like 5,000 feet will be transition. Turn limited to 230 knots. That's important. There might be like intermediate traffic coming from this angle, coming into the approach as well, and from this one as well. So we've got to consider that. Well, 5,000 is the standard sort of altitude for these transitions. And then as we get down to Visick, so if we go back to our FMC, we would probably see Visick on the approach if we select it. So Rigmu and then RNAV approach runway 30 left. Yeah, Visick transition, so there we go, we select that. And that's a good way to sort of take any guesswork out of it and know what you're doing to the T. So Visick, and we can cross check this on the chart, so let's do Visick to BE320. As you can see, Visick to BE20 will be on the approach. It's coming up VOR. Right, let's try that.
Thousand to go.
Either way, there's the VISIG, and then we'll come down straight to the runway. I can't see that other one I was looking for, but again, it hasn't come up with the correct thing. It just says RMP or VOR, so maybe it is an RMP, classed as an RMP approach. I think so. I think it is, and then 2,600 feet. 4,000 down to 3,000. Okay, well, I get it. It'll be one of those straight from VISIG to final, and then we'll use the RLS. So we'll chin that in now, actually, to save time. 4 nautical miles before fresh at 160 knots. If not, otherwise instructed by ATC. So quite a slow approach. Quite a slow one for a 737. There is no ILS for 30 left either. But again, it might change. We might get there and it probably, no, in my luck, it'll probably say 30 right is the arrival, and then 30 left is departures. One 11205. Let's tune that in for the VOR. Okay, we'll keep the approach chart open, the arrival charts. The winds are pretty calm up here. I mean, forgot the anti-ice. Winds are calm, minus 31. It's only 15 knots. We know we're at 37,257. I'd say speed-wise, we're doing very good today. That's giving us 16 on there, yeah, so very, very mild. Air conditioning's cooked out. That's probably because we've got the packs onto high with the anti-ice on at the same time. So let's turn them back to automatic. Cabin altitude is pretty good, so we're rocking between 7,000 and 8,000 usually, so it has climbed slightly there, which is again, the anti-ice probably affecting it to some extent. Okay, we're just over Innsbruck, folks. Just over Innsbruck Airport. Look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? With the sun on it. I mean, it looks like melting ice cream, but, you know, we can imagine it's mountain peaks. What a view. What a job. What a absolute fantastic flight to do. I think we can all appreciate the 738 a little bit more. Yeah, it's probably the most overappreciated plane though, isn't it? If you guys want to see me fly the 777, let me know. Air conditioning's cutting out again. This is not good. I didn't expect this to happen with when we're in cruise. It may be because the winds are not. No, it's got nothing to do with the wind. I put them onto high and then I put them back to normal or automatic, and now put them back to high again. So we'll see if that makes a difference. Trim air is on. I mean, there's no reason why it shouldn't be. Why it should be tripping out. Auto fail. Okay, I see. So automatic fail. iOS. No failed systems. I don't know what this is. It must be because the thrust setting is not high enough. Let's go back to automatic. And we'll see if we can like maintain it. I've done the alternate horn cutout, so we won't hear it making that sound. Oh, I see what I'm doing. I'm opening the door with that key. We'll become co-pilot for a minute. They're the one nearest to it. Technically, as the captain of the aircraft, though, we have full responsibility for it, so we can't just pass off the problems to other people. So it's cut out again. Even with the packs on high mode. Just keep an eye on it and we'll see what happens as time goes on. Trip bleed on the right, but not the left, and then the left. Yeah, that's concerning, isn't it? Maybe it's time to kick the APU on. We have still got pressure, but he just won't maintain it. Yeah, they're just constantly dropping. Let's take some movement, maneuver, some action this. So let's go down to 35,000 feet. We'll do this pretty rapidly, because we are having a bit of an emergency situation, so we might have to descend a bit more after that as well. So we'll go down to 350. Right now, 789. I'm descending now, flight level 350. That's normal, so reduced the pressure as we descend, because we're obviously bringing those idle, those throttles back to idle. I think it has got something to do with the anti-ice, so that's why it keeps tripping out. I'm going to look more into this actually, if we can try and get it stabilised. We did have a flight plan filed for 370 after we step climbed. Let's just see what it says. So 350 and then Getso 370. So we are past Getsu, so we should be at 37,000. So there really is no reason. And then again, the pressure. Right, the pressure's built up now. We're a little bit lower. 350 seems to be a bit better. You see there, it's not on the lower end. Although it is dropping still. I say that it is coming down again. Situations like this, I don't really know what to do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking from the flight deck. We are half an hour inbound now to LYBE Belgrade Airport. My name's Grantham, by the way, and I don't usually fly for Ryanair. I have my own company. So yeah, arriving into Belgrade. I hope you've all enjoyed it. It's been a nice, reasonable flight over about an hour and a half. Maybe even an hour. We've done pretty good on time. Winds are not too strong up here at 350. And I will leave you all to it. Please take your seats as we begin our descent into Belgrade, and I thank you for flying with Ryanair. Okay guys, so we're going to go down now. We're going to start our descent nice and early here, down to probably 12,000 feet. Make it 16,000. As I say, nice and early. Sometimes those FMCs give you descents and they'll be a bit too late. Let's get the anti-ice on. So the anti-ice can affect the pressure in the system to some extent. It is minus 27, but we've not got any cloud layers. It's actually really clear outside, and it's not as cold as I was expecting. I think we have got other traffic. I think I put for cruise. No, according to SimBrief, it was like minus 61 was expected, but it was nowhere near that temperature. It wasn't even minus 30. And then we've got someone above us by 1,200 feet. We've also got somebody who was in front of us somewhere that's vanished off the radar. So that guy there, as you can see, we're descending now, and I think he is descending or she is descending. And we're just off to our left hand side, so we'll keep an eye out for them. I was surprised at that TCAS alert on departure from Zurich. Usually you wouldn't get that unless you were at the same level, so maybe there was in fact maybe a plane there. But it's strange, it picked it up from the ground level. Anyway, we descend at 1800. Adjust our flight plan accordingly, so level 160 by tandem, nice and early. Belgrade Airport not too high up, so we put 350 in. It's about 334 feet, so a couple of 100 feet. So as you can see there, the pressure system's fine. Yeah, so we pre-selected it there to 350. Cabin altitude is dropping now. I think we're good. I mean, as long as, you know, it was a risk because it was increasing, but as long as it doesn't go above, you know, 12,000-13,000 feet, we should be alright. We should still technically be able to breathe if the cabin increases to 12 or 13,000, albeit uncomfortably, and probably not everybody can cope with it, so we probably should have deployed oxygen as a precaution, but again, we don't really want to cause a panic. You know, oxygen pressure level's good. We could click it on here if we needed to, and of course the captain and the co-pilot and the jump seat pilot do have their own oxygen kits, so And if we needed to, we could put this on. Landing altitude verified. System enunciation. Functional. Approach reference page. .142 for the reference. Landing speed. Alternate destination. If we need it. VREF is entered. Radio minimum, so we're set 200. We should be on. Oh, that's the barometric thing, isn't it? What am I doing? Oops. Still on standard, thankfully, so radio minimums. You know what, let's go for a 250 feet. Navigation radio is set. We have got the VOR into number 2 over here. So for the VOR for Belgrade, as you can see there, the BGD. Oh, sorry, we've got it at number 1. So the BGD there is obviously Belgrade's VOR. That's given us some guidance. If we need to fly it manually, I guess. Auto brake, we'll go for a 2 again. You know what, actually let's make it 1 because we're expecting a long taxi down the runway. Some of the taxiways here aren't actually open from my memory. Descent checklist is complete. Next will be the approach. Wonder what the QNH is, so let's get it off the charts. So let's look on here actually. So SimBrief gave us they gave us 1015. This is giving us 1015 as well. Okay, so it's pretty accurate then. Getting turbulent though now we're on the descent. Bobbing up and down quite a bit. Belgrade ATC not online unfortunately. Oh, we have got LKTB 880 though, which is close by. Why are we still descending here? We should be leveled off at 16,000 feet. It is bobbing up and down. I wonder if the autopilot's just having a little bit of problems with maintaining this descent. Let's try the 15,000. Let's do a level change.
1,000 to go.
Maybe the speed is a bit too high, so bring it back to maybe 300. Anyway, Rigmu's coming up 54 miles, and then this will be the approach procedures here. So Rigmu's the arrival, and then at Visok is where we transition to the approach at 4,000 feet. Everything looks good so far. It once is at 317 at 16,000 feet. That's decent speed. So we got one of the traffic in the area. Probably not even going to Belgrade. They're probably passing through. We got somebody down there at Banja Luka. We drove past there last night, folks. This is an adventure of a region, the Balkans. It really is. Not only from the driving aspect, but from the flying aspect as well. We've almost got a convoy going on. If we can get a convoy in the air, that would be fantastic. Mitrovica. A lot of random places here. I think this is Slovenia, isn't it? No, this is Croatia, and then this is possibly Slovenia. I don't really know the layout too well. We did look at it on the map. We use the Avi tablet down here to save us some headaches. So we're still over, we are over Croatia and then Slovenia. It's like way up there, I'm getting mistaken on that. Sarajevo is of course Bosnia-Herzegovina, quite a big country, stretching all the way down the coast. And Belgrade's there, just up above is Novi Sad, so this is another well-known city in Serbia. And then further down south we've got places like Kosovo, which is not actually part of Serbia anymore. So Pristina. Of course, Kosovo down there. It's not actually labelled, but it is in that region. And we have like one other plane there. Maybe they're going to Belgrade if we're lucky. Maybe not. Oh yeah, it was just as warm and just as sunny as I expected it to be. 10 degrees outside, 16,000 feet, that's not bad. Don't know anybody who sunbathes at the altitude, but alright, we'll take it. I think we're on the arrival now, so we can give them an announcement over the radios. And we'll imagine ATC is online and they're not going to respond to us. Rigby 2 Delta arrival, runway 30 left. Ryanair 789, Belgrade traffic. Rigby 2 Delta arrival, expecting 30 left. And we're almost, folks, at the approach briefing. There's no ILS for this runway, so it's going to be nice. We'll be flying parallel to it. And we'll be turning onto base and then final. You can see there, based on the wind direction, that's probably going to be quite alright today. So winds are pretty much head on. There's the city down there, and you know, obviously the rivers, and hopefully we can see the airport soon. Aircraft's still going at 317, so I think the descent should start. So 15,000 feet, and then okay, we got quite a bit till we have to get down to 4,000. Let's get going down, so 4,000 feet. Make sure the cabin's depressurized. Now you can go back to automatic. There's Belgrade. We have, I've forgotten what it's called, but there's one side of the river and then there's the other, the old side and the new side. Said it's just off over there. Over on the centre's kind of modelled to some extent. Transition altitude already, we're at 10,000 feet. Quite a high up transition. Let's go to the sort of local QNH then. Clouds are just sort of there, but there's Belgrade Airport. She doesn't look as big as I remember. And it's just a very nice and cosy place to land, I find. Look at this symmetry on the buildings as well, very well laid out. The city is actually quite big now, looking at it from this altitude. And of course along the banks there we've got stuff along there, docks and quays and, you know, boats for parties. I think that's what Belgrade's known for, isn't it? Party boats on the waters. It is big. It is a big place. Right, we're slowing down. We should be below 250 by now. Got to drop a few flaps here to assist with the speed. Get our landing lights on as we do our approach chart list. So before 10,000 feet, fixed landing lights and passenger signs are on. Altimeter and local data. So update RMP. RMP is actually already updated, so we've already got the VOR programmed in. And then if flaps 15 landing needed, so we'll do the flap inhibit when we get to the right altitude. Here we are, we should be coming down to Vizek. We will be at 4,000 feet for that point. So it's between 5 and 7,000 here, so we're actually at the right altitude, which is good. We are using VNAV. We should be using VNAV at this point for the descent. You see it's got us going down to 240 knots. Let's go for flaps 5. Gonna turn base and final. At the BE 303 at the moment. This is where we are. This is where we're going. Strange approach. I say that, but it isn't really. It's quite normal. I was just expecting it to be slightly closer to the runway, that's all. It slows down to 165, but our approach speed is lower than that, so drag required. We have just deployed 5 notches of flaps, or 5 degrees of flaps. Reference speed is 142.
1,000 to go.
Let's just change that actually, so 40 over 140 will be fine. And you see there 5 knots for wind correction. Winds are going to be mild though, 16 knot headwind we're looking at the moment. So we're trending. Should have set 180 I think on the approach. Quite a long one. Let's do that actually. Let's go to speed mode. Let's just keep it about 180. Still got some high terrain ahead of us. That's pretty interesting. They got like a tower on top. Is that a radio tower? Don't know, but it looks like the ones in Germany, the exact same. Beautiful day. What temperature? 12 degrees. Still not on the ground. It's probably going to be warmer when we touch down. Anyway, Ryanair 737-800 new generation edition coming down to Belgrade Airport. Trim's going out of control again. And we're not maintaining. Why are we not maintaining altitude? feel like we should do this manually. So
1,000 to go.
keep flying down this direction towards the runway, and then we'll take control. Probably do a hand flown approach. It's kind of the way it's going at the moment. I should maintain altitude. It didn't do it before. Altitude hold 4,000 feet. Go 10 degrees of flaps. Yeah, today's just been off in the handling in general. A little bit bouncy, a little bit all over. Trim wheels going crazy for no reason. And not maintaining altitude. So what is going wrong? What is not happening? So this did not happen on the 2E version. It's only happening on the Ryanair version. We selected the altitude holder. Now it's like semi-stabilized. Level change, and then it should get to the altitude and level off, and it shouldn't be bouncing around like this. It shouldn't be going up and down. – 4,000 feet altitude lock should now come on. It should now stop at 4,000 feet. Right, now it's locked on when we climbed it, but when we descended it wasn't locking onto it. How annoying is that? There's the runway, 30 left. Belgrade traffic, Ryanair 789, long final, runway 30 left. Yeah, that is a long final. Never seen one that far out before. Usually they have you turn in if they're going to do that kind of an approach. Then again, I saw that at Milan airport, but it still wasn't that far. They'll have you turn in, like maybe here. Seems like triple the distance than what would actually be required, so they'd probably turn at the NDB might be a good one, and that would have been a bit shorter in. Either way, we are established long final. We'll keep it going and then and fly down. No ILS. No ILS today. Go around altitude of 4,000 feet. Inhibits. Might as well take hand flown approach on this one. Quite far out, 4,000. We should have descended by now. Let's get descending down. We have a couple of miles before the runway. Seems like we're way off to the right on this. The wind is coming from the right at 18 knots. It's somehow picked up. Somehow stronger down here. .142. I think 140 is our real reference though. Taking the auto throttle off early as well on this one. G-Ruka. I do have a model. I said it before about G-Ruka. G-Ruku or something. The Ryanair model is actually a real plane. Let's go full flaps. We are high up on this one. We've not really got the ILS guiders on it, which is kind of a pain in the kind of approach we're doing is not giving us any vertical guidance either. On the autopilot at least, we should really click approach mode. Even though there's not one available. I could just get rid of it altogether and get rid of the flight directors. Yeah, that's very confusing. So the wind's from the right, we're getting blown to the right. Surely we should get blown to the left. Consistency would be nice on this experience.
Feet stabilised. Missed approach altitude set.
I was just going to say not quite stabilised. A little bit on the high side. Just down to do the before 4000. Copilot doesn't actually do anything. I think that call out's a little bit redundant to be fair. Nice steep descent. Quite slow. By about 10 knots. Let's pick it up. Okay, just kind of doing it GA style today. Pitching for the speed a little bit. Sometimes better to be slightly on the high side than too low.
Approaching minimums. 300. Minimum.
I will continue. We are a little bit slow, but speed is acceptable for now.
100. 50. 40. 30.
V1.
20.
No, not V1 pilot.
10.
Otherwise calling that out on London. Did we get the minimums? I think we did get the minimums. Anyway, reversers and spoilers are already deployed. Welcome to Belgrade at last.
80 knots.
Reversers stowed. Oh well, that was alright. Not the best. We had a little bit of gust at the end there. We got a few contradictory callouts like V1 speed, and we didn't get wind shear alert. I'm pretty sure we should have on that wind gust at the end. Felt like wind shear at least. There's a lot of Chinese airlines. Don't think they'd be flying here realistically. APU coming on. Strobe's coming off. Let's Sort the aircraft out a little bit while we're on the ground. Since there's no traffic, let's go ahead and watch the replay now, shall we? We see just how strong that gust actually was when we were coming in. So here we are. We had to, you know, we had quite a steep high descent. And then at the end, sort of recovered it to some parts. Yeah, look at that, being blown all over the place. And there's lag, apologies about the lag everybody. That was causing that. That was pretty good. Did a good job of getting it down. I struggled a little bit, but we did it. Anyway, off to parking. We'll go down Delta, which is where we originally planned. We'll go down Foxtrot to Apron C, terminal building. So Foxtrot to C. That's wild, absolutely wild. I'm glad we didn't have a perfect landing though. I usually do them a bit too perfect. So it's nice to get a bit of a challenge at the end there. Oh, that's us done, isn't it? And just shut down. Responded back to standby with the old 7000. Oh, landing rating, excellent. 5-star landing. Approach rating poor, that's probably because of the wind we had and also we were high and steep. But landing rating excellent, I will take that. Thank you. I will take that on board. We learned how to fly a plane. Whoopee, I did a thing. Woo, I flew a plane, I landed it. A 737. It's not as hard as you think. All that pilot training, overpriced. Not worth it, you can do it on the sim for free. Alright everybody, thank you for being here. Nice flight to Belgrade. I will see you on the next one on Monday. Take care.